We are live. Hello, everyone. This is the Ninja DC joining again for another podcast and react video combo. They are going to be separate, but and not record that way. Join me again. This time is going from random YouTube order. Daylover and second.
Hello. Here we go.
Hi there.
Now, husband and wife, Daylover, and second.
And wait, we have to wait till that for the announcement section.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I jumped the gun.
Spoilers.
A spoiler alert button. Woo, woo, woo. Woo.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, now we know.
They could have done something like how Krusty the Clown announces it.
Yeah.
I am sick and tired of this woman not being married to me.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's
Next up, Carlos.
Hello there, this is Gunmetal Game. I hope you're ready to enjoy yourselves and have a great time.
Anybody else think it sounded like he said Gunmetal Gate?
Yeah, he was a double gator.
That's actually a cool title for something. Gunmetal Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah. His OC is just a big black gate.
Actually, more like a darkish bluish gray. That's what that would be like.
Now I'm imagining a gate made out of gators.
Oh God!
I just imagined a rather sick-looking Stargate.
Yeah.
Gunmetal Gate. Gunmetal Gate. Adventurers, if you dare.
The Stargate Gator.
Mm-hmm.
I love that series so much. Spin-offs, but the main series is good.
Mm-hmm.
And our fearless leader?
Yep, Ninja DC. But I guess what you all been up to, which I guess they and second have the bigger stuff to go through first.
Hi. So we got married or something. But more importantly, we've been watching some good movies lately.
Mm-hmm.
No, well, actually, we had to, we've had the marriage, but not the wedding. They give you a short time limit for the marriage, so we had to go find a very nice magistrate outside my district, because my district had the magistrate lose the election, and then as for sticking around for the rest of the term, said, screw that, I'm out of here. And so we had to shop around neighboring districts for a magistrate who, thankfully turned out to be fantastic.
Really
treated
fantastic.
us like $1 million and was friendly.
Wanted to take pictures.
Yeah, made sure we had the opportunity for lots of pictures, gave a very sweet sermon, so no complaints.
No.
But we're getting a wedding that might be more interesting to talk about if we're talking about anything in December.
Yes.
You guys want to come?
Yeah, you're invited if you want to.
Hi.
But don't worry, I'll send invitations and put it up on my Facebook too later.
What was that? You probably need to. What was the note say? Talk Geek Talk.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Alright. Well, first relevant thing we've been up to is rewatching Helluva Boss. Yeah, and actually, you know what happened to me last time with the confusion over which names of characters and seeing every episode and whatever. I saw the pilot, I saw episode 1, and then I came back and said, okay, I've seen the first 2 episodes. Episode 3. But, so I missed everybody's favorite thirsty owl character, the introduction of him, and
the reintroduction.
Yeah, well, is the introduction proper, I guess you could say. But, what a shame, though. Like, they put a complex yet likable character in a show that doesn't exactly thrive on likable characters, or I mean, maybe a cup. Well, let me rephrase that. Like, a lot of these characters are likable in spite of the fact that they're jerks. So, like, you enjoy them without feeling bad when they fall flat on their face. You're kind of rooting for this guy.
It's a good example. Like, they're likable versus good. They're very different things. Like, characters can be likable, like, to view and also enjoy their presence, but they can also be rather sort of shit friends or something like that. You would like, oh, like, you like watching these people, you would not want to be friends with them, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if, he's he's good per se. I mean, he is cheating on his partner. No hesitation, but I mean, I don't know. I think the idea is that, like, neither one of them is committed to the relationship so much. It's more like, it's been a long time that, hey, I don't know, it's more of a status thing than anything else, I guess, but, I mean, the fact that he's trying really hard to take care of his daughter and make her happy, I mean, that is not where you thought they were going with the Thirsty Owl character.
No. Definitely true. Yeah.
So maybe that or episode 5 is the best one. Yeah. Oh, and Cherubs is the worst. I didn't remember that last time, but I would have to side with Cherubs as the worst episode.
I can sort of understand because I feel like the most episodic episode.
Yeah. Well, that and, like, the pure cut-loose thrill of being... How profane are we aiming for in this podcast about Helluva Boss?
Yeah, you can let loose, but just don't let loose too much.
Okay. Well, the pure cut-loose joy of being a give-no-F's douchebag, that is easy to get behind. That's easy to just, kick back, enjoy, give into your inner Tibble, as it were. Crap all over positivity to make yourself feel better about being a give-no-F's douchebag. That creates a little more drag, I think. You kind of have to have a deserving target. You have to really come with some points that are going to make your audience think, like, ooh, you know what? Yeah, that's so true. And instead, they mostly just go for all the stuff we've heard before. That, kids are actually little dickbags. What? Nature is not all cutesy and sentimental. I'm like, alright. Yeah, didn't Miyazaki, Mr. Nature Lover, just make like a flippin' masterpiece out of that premise? Like, I mean, I don't know. You're telling us stuff that like jokes we kind of heard before, while, like I said, just a premise with more drag on it. Like, hey, they're, kicking these people in the gonads, huh? Or these cherubs, and, like, I liked it better when it was about the boss characters just, flying by the seat of their pants, doing whatever the heck they wanted, and just kind of come what may.
I agree with, like, it being more focused on the boss characters. That makes it funnier.
Yeah. I mean, the one that, like, I guess where the closest to me being like, okay, you kind of have something there, is when the representatives of heaven show up at the end, and I think that is canonical to Christianity, that you can still get kicked out of heaven once you're already in there if you sin. So, like, the pointing out, like, wait, isn't that kind of cruel and judgmental? This big, we're so righteous grin, while, like, oh, sorry, you, the well-meaning cherubs, are gone forever, and you can't do a thing about it. Like, but I don't know, in context, it came across more like, yet just the episode going for one more, like, oh, aren't we so bad? We.
You already at episode 6?
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
It's been a while.
Right. But let's see, other news. Trying to catch up on.
Right now.
What's up?
Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, trying to catch up on our classic movies and stuff. Saw Splash. Saw Peabody and Sherman, one of those animated movies that you forgot happened. Like, we seem to have a glut of animated movies that are kind of solid now, year by year, and yet nobody remembers. 70-something on Rotten Tomatoes, enough money at the box office, or maybe a sequel or two, but yeah, bottom line being, 3-4 years later, everybody already forgets that it happens. And Peabody and Sherman, I guess their niche and the whole things, their movie got almost a surprising bit of respect. It got 80-something on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't think it actually made the studio money. Like, I think that bridge was closed. But yeah, they kind of, I don't know, they went the rapid fire creativity meets, hey, isn't this a father-son plot actually? And I don't know, it was kind of sweet. So that's one I think
like,
if you have time to spare is worth going and digging up a little bit.
Yeah. And I like the Roman Croc too. That was funny.
Oh yeah, the Patrick Warburton character.
Mm.
They had one of those in there. But what helps though is that they really went out of their way to make Mr. Peabody just the most lovable character. Like, he totally steals that movie.
Just still a weird name to have.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because like saying that someone has a Peabody is that means they're small, doesn't it? Like, that actually is a saying here. I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody gonna help me out.
Yeah, it's incredible. And the characters themselves are like, gosh, I don't know how many decades old. Because they were from originally like a newspaper comic strip, right? I know they had.
Oh, they were part of the Rocky and Bullwinkle show.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, they've tried to make movies out of Rocky and Bullwinkle segments 3 times. Rocky and Bullwinkle itself, bad reviews and bombed. Dudley Do-Right, I know that got even worse reviews. I don't actually know how much money it made at the box office. Like, if it managed to leech off some of George of the Jungle's success with Brendan Fraser in there. But whatever. But yeah, a decade and a half later, they decided to try Mr. Peabody and Sherman 2, and wait, that one was actually good?
Yeah. We also saw the Bamboo Princess movie.
Oh yeah, Princess Kaguya.
Yeah. It is amazing. I will recommend watching that.
Yeah.
Just be prepared with a tissue box.
Wait, is that the bamboo shoot one?
Yeah, Bamboo Princess, directed by the last movie directed by Miyazaki's partner in crime, Isao Takahata. Yeah, I realized I'm more behind on him than I should be. I think I've seen his weirdly, he's the one who had more of a career before Studio Ghibli came along. Like, he might have a couple of borderline lost masterpieces for how much people have seen them. Miyazaki, for his part, thought the guy's masterpiece was his Heidi TV show, as in Heidi, the movie Shirley Temple was in, that I think was a book first. But yeah, he had that and a few movies before Ghibli, and then in Ghibli, he has a couple of what I think are considered Ghibli lightweights, with his 2 crown jewels being Only Yesterday and Princess Kaguya, I think. But they are both really good. I don't know. I might prefer Only Yesterday by a nose, but they're both heavy hitters. And on that note, I don't usually recommend YouTube videos, but Anime America, which, if I'm not mistaken, is probably one of the leading channels right now commenting on just pure anime. Yeah, just did a ranking of every single Studio Ghibli movie and Castle of Cagliostro, because why not? And I don't know, it's hard to show me a Studio Ghibli ranking without me wanting to strangle you at least a couple of times, but I thought they did pretty solid.
You know, one thing I just realized, because because I'm subscribed to Anime America. Like I forgot, like it's called Anime America, but she's from Australia, isn't she?
I don't know. I mean, she doesn't have an accent I'd know was Australian. Although she is teamed up with Phantom Strider in this video, and yeah, if I'm not mistaken, those stereotypical Australian accents were kind of derived from Cockney.
Maybe.
What do I know? But I don't know. It is fun to talk about favorite Ghibli movies.
Mm-hmm.
And one you still have to get to. I didn't see their last place choice, Ocean Waves of all movies, the little known one by the lower downs in Ghibli to prove that they can make a movie too. And like they did manage to say a couple of things that had me like, okay, this actually got decent reviews, really, but well, is what it is. It did in fact get decent reviews. So that, a few others are the ones I have to see. Didn't see their recent, hey, what if we team up with studios from wherever it was and make a movie called Red Turtle?
Mm-hmm.
And what else haven't I seen? Haven't seen, Nisio Takahata's, like, less respected ones like My Neighbors, the Yamadas, but, actually, wait a minute, I think I might have to eat my words from a minute ago. Did he also make Graveyard of the Fireflies? Grave of the Fireflies? I think he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think, like, no. It's no, yes.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, yeah, that
I was
many
looking
people
up
might
the
say that
American.
is his masterpiece over both of the other two, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I was just looking up like a thing. So like the nationality is like Robin, which is sort of the main person, is Australian, but it's like
Okay.
Tara, Hannah, and Brad and Sumi are from America.
Okay. Hey, glad we got that straight.
No, it was just like
Yeah.
one of those things. Like I was just thinking, like, no, I was like, wait a second, because I am subscribed to her. So I was like, wait, isn't she from Australia? It's like, because she keeps referencing like Australian politics at times and all that, and it's like that was just one of those things like I never really thought of until like mentioned. It's like, wait a second. Huh. Anyway, Carlos, anything on your mind?
All right. I have multiple things in mind, so let's first hear it up. First up, on the Digimon front, we're currently 3 weeks away from not just a reboot, not just some sort of continuation of the original Adventure Kids back in 1999. We're getting an actual brand new series for Digimon.
So, they're going back to that route, huh?
It's been years. The last new installment was literally a spin-off title of Digimon by the name of Atmon. And even before then, the last canonical new series was Cross Wars.
Mm.
Yeah, didn't they just try to reboot the original series to the delight of no one? Yes, no, maybe.
He just muted himself. Actually, I think
Oh.
like some of the reboots were not well received, but like I think the most recent one was very well received.
Huh. I mean, I just remember reading about a recent reboot and how it disappointed a lot of people, but well, while we're waiting for him to come back, I was tempted to float this one before. Ghibli movies. Okay, how about favorite and least favorite? It's a lot of times your least favorite will have to be the one that you're like, yeah, it's solid.
Mm.
But, all right, everybody, least favorite Ghibli movie that you've seen. Mm-hmm. Well, I know which one yours is gonna be, right?
I guess so. Like my favorite, also.
Well, say it. The audience is waiting. It's Tales from Earthsea, isn't it? Your least favorite?
Yeah, that's my least favorite.
Yeah. All right.
I'd say that's probably the least favorite of the one I've seen too. But the caveat, there's like 2 or 3 which I have not seen, which I would probably not like. I would like less than that. So it's like I forget what are the neighbor ones, and then like the one with the what's the one I'm looking for? Tanuki one, Like those, I just sort of like, it's like, yeah.
Oh, Pompoko.
Yeah.
Earwig and the Witch.
It's like, yeah, those would probably rank lower. Earthsea is like, it's weird. Like, I really like parts of that movie, but like a lot of the other, it's like, other parts I dislike a lot.
Yeah, I would like that too. And also, it just drags on and on and
Hey
on.
guys, I'm back.
Hey.
Welcome back. We're doing favorite and least favorite Ghibli movies while you were gone, and yeah, my least favorite. Well, unfortunately, I think I've missed even more Ghibli movies that you're supposed to see, so I have to go with Whisper of the Heart as my least favorite, which
I gotcha.
the nostalgics are strong with that one. It has its moments. It's fairly relatable. It's just not my gold medal winner for slice of life Ghibli. Like, yeah, girl meet cute boy who gradually shows his charm that he's had his eye on this girl who has a lot in common with him for a while. So something, we'll get back to that. And she has that ever relatable dilemma of, is grinding through the school minutia really what I want? Do I want to go down the more personally satisfying artistic path? So something, keep at it, stay in school, you'll get there, whatever, and there you go, movie. I mean, I don't know. I think it's fine. It's solid enough, but yeah, that's my least favorite. And oh yeah, Carlos, do you want to contribute a least favorite Ghibli movie?
Sorry, I don't really have that much exposure to all the Ghibli catalog, unfortunately.
Oh.
I really don't want to say anything about like the movies I've seen, which has been very few.
Yeah. So favorites then. 1, 2, 3. Kiki's Delivery Service. Boom.
I mean,
Howl's Moving Castle. Boom.
I'd say Princess Mononoke.
Oh, boom.
Really?
We all have different ones. That's funny.
I think DC's has the most backing behind it, at least of those three. Like before Spirited Away came along, Princess Mononoke was kind of considered Miyazaki's masterpiece. That was kind of his like, whoa, hold the phone, pal. You just took it to a whole new level there. But then when Spirited Away did come along, everyone was like, ooh, and jeez. He just created a challenger to his own title.
Actually, I will say, actually, your two are also very near the top of my list too.
What is?
Your Kiki's Delivery Service and Howl's Moving Castle. I would say Howl's is like, I'm sort of frustrated with it because like it's the first 3/4 of it is so good, but like it just sort of mumbles the ending, which I hate because it could have been in the same class. I feel as like Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away, but it's like that's why I'm frustrated with Howl's because it's so close to being perfect, but
in my case, I thought Howl's had like I'm both like less and more positive, I guess, because I thought it like matched top tier Ghibli's charm with all the good stuff it has, all that fantasy and character. Like, all right, Ghibli does it again, but then I am perfectly capable of thinking that something botched the ending. I more like thought Howl jumbled the ending. I mean, maybe it's because I wasn't quite as like raving positive about it that I thought that inserting time travel and Howl going off to fight the war and stuff just like that. I didn't think it was quite such a killer, but I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, you guys are,
the big problem
you guys are taking the scenic route that ties itself in knots a bit.
And I like the scenic route.
The problem with it is Miyazaki at the time was in a very anti-war mood. So he basically ramped up the anti-war messages of Howl's Moving Castle versus like its book source material. So it just sort of feels inserted and just sort of disrupts the story, especially near the end. Which, like, again, I said, I really do love that. That's why I'm sort of refreshing because I really love the world of Howl's Moving Castle and like all of it. But yeah, the ending is just sort of a mess. It's not Evangelion a mess, but it's still sort of a mess.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, yeah. I'm just kind of like, okay, you've got a big old war in the background, but that stays in the background. I mean, I understand that the story is being driven partly by this background catalyst, but shouldn't that be more of a focal point than it is if it's that big a deal? If it's a war, I don't know. Hey.
All right.
Okay.
But Carlos,
Yeah.
it's update.
Yeah, like I was going to say, yeah, like the last time we had like a new actual series, like based off of like Digimon, was literally 10 years ago, actually, back in 2011, with Cross Wars and Cross War Hunters. Like this just feels like a homecoming thing, you know? Like like maybe Digimon is getting back into trying to get back into like a popularity or airing like new series one after another, like it used to back in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm. So the remaking it didn't work, so they're trying the good old days route.
No, it's happening immediately after the remake. I mean, there's been literally a lot of backlash about the reboot because of a certain actress and apparently her demands for wanting to be in every single episode. And the fact that it's kind of led to like a lot of people complaining about like certain characters being there in episodes in which they had no part in because they're not the main focal or taking time away from the actual focal characters for the episode. And yeah, and that character is Ty's voice actress.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did hear that one of the complaints was that it was a little Thai-centric.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and to hear that it might be because of something like this, it's really hard to like really believe because even Atmon didn't do that with their own main character. Yeah, it's really sad because like some of the good features of Ty in that season was really sort of like this wordless like moment there like in the midway point of like a 1/3 of the way through, like in episode 24. Like yeah, one of like the greatest moments possible for like him as a character trying to help Agumon and such, and only led to presumably his own demise, like literally being eaten by a Digimon, like right in front of Agumon's eyes. Like that moment will always be like a big highlight for like the reboot, regardless of anything, because of like the entire episode just felt like almost wordless in like in its display of like hopelessness and disparity against like a Devimon's mega evolution being like so demonic, so twisted, so Devilman inspired. It's like
So there we are.
yeah, but like right now for like the Digimon reboot, we're finally ending it off with like a villain that's just like, oh, I'm just gonna be like the D Reaver, just eat everything. Eat everything that constitutes life, everything that constitutes existence, basically.
Yeah. Oh, like the very last guy from the original Digimon.
No, it was basically the recycle bin, basically, as a lot of people point out, like just trying to destroy the Digimon world. But it's more D Reaper esque from Tamers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're making a new upcoming series on Digimon that's gonna continue the story with something new. So there's that. What else you got?
Yeah. Oh, and also they're making a series first in which like the other main characters, they're having basically opposite gender partners.
Interesting. So, as in, like, they're together with the opposite gender partners, or they just happen to be opposite gender, or what?
they're basically having like opposite gender partners from like the onset like because at first like everyone just assumed, okay, older guy who's probably like the secondary male character, oh, he's gonna be the one with like the big Digimon, but nope, he's gonna be having a jellyfish girl by the name of Jellymon.
Oh, you mean the Digimon partner? Okay, I was thinking of
Yeah, the
something else.
Digimon partner. oh, I'm sorry.
Like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
This, like, so
Yeah,
what? Like
let's take
spouses
place.
are going to be teaming up?
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. We're not yet at the point of like having like adult party members in Digimon, since it's still a kids franchise. Like the Digidestined for this one are basically like middle schoolers, in their 13s and 14-year-olds.
Will do.
Uh-huh. And yeah, like the guy is basically like a guy who's basically egotistical but is actually a scaredy cat. Like when actual situations goes on. Then the girl is basically like from the poster, she's basically the one who's most optimistic and basically a socialite who's like really like not scared at all about like these monsters, like even more than the main character.
Hey.
And she's the one with the big guy, like that's based off of like a Yeti rabbit, which I'm saying like this is basically the reverse of the Renamon situation back in Tamers. Like having the girl have the more competent like Digimon partner, but instead of it being like a femme fatale or like a sly ninja type, it's instead the brawler of the group, which is giving me Dokamon flashbacks all the way back in like an Atmon. In which, oh wait a minute, yeah, but then again that is a spin-off. That's not an actual Digimon, but yeah, she's kind of fulfilling that sort of type of role, and
Okay.
it's really interesting altogether. Like the way that they're designing the Digimon to be a bit more grotesque looking, a bit more like traumatizing, and like their methodology for like trying to like get themselves into the actual world is by literally draining off the life force of humans. Yeah.
So emphasis on the monsters and digital monsters.
Yes. Yeah, like a guy like in the first trailer is literally being like aged off into like an old man, just from like a Clockmon.
Okay, so Digimon's pulling out some new stuff.
Okay, then continuing on the Netflix front, Kid Cosmic Season 2 has come out.
Cosmic Season 2 has come out.
You know, Craig McCracken's Netflix cartoon?
No.
Yeah, it's basically like a series about like what if like a kid like in the middle of nowhere basically finds like Power Stone that enables him like the superpowers, and he tries to make like a superhero team out of like his neighbors and such, including like a pet cat, a little 4-year-old tyke, an old man who's taking care of him, and the resident waitress.
Oh, so there we are.
Yeah, and basically it's like a whole superhero deconstruction thing about like what really makes like someone actually like super or like a hero or like in the sense of like even if you have these powers, if you're not confident with them, can you really do anything?
Yeah, you have the car, but you can't drive it.
Yeah, like season 2 happened, and it came with like a nice little wink to like one of Craig McCracken's old series, like multiple of them actually. Yeah, like basically like a voice actress for Sylvia comes back in a big way.
Okay.
And then also a nice a nice organization is established based on one of the very first properties that Craig ever made. So be sure to look out for that if you're actually interested in checking it out, because it's a really good show. It's a really good show if you like superhero stuff, if you're still not tired about it and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a lot to get me tired of superhero stuff, I have to admit. But I know that, yeah. Honestly, I'm wondering if people are even as guarded to superhero movies as they say. Like, I remember all the way back in Avengers 1, everybody felt the need to be like, oh yeah, well, nerds are gonna love it. I mean, yeah, like, it's pretty nerdy, right? But I liked it. And now, 3 Avengers movies later, it seems like people have kind of lost their shyness there, accepted that Marvel has pretty much successfully turned all of us into collectors. Yeah, sorry, you're a nerd now. Hate to break it to you. But yeah, that aside, now it's like, well, this is a lot of superhero movies. There is kind of a glut. It's like, and yet, you keep going. They keep making money. Like, stupid rich money.
And then, yeah, another series you wanted to recommend, Carlos?
Hold up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess while he's dealing with that, I'll just go over some of my smaller things. I've been up to, let me see. Uh, yeah, I just got through playing, did I mention I was playing, Hades last time or not? All right, Silence, I assume knows it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, I've finally got through roll credits on Hades, which, yeah, very fun game from Super Massive or Super Giant. There's 2 different things, but yeah. Yeah, fun game from them. Very good roguelike that sort of combines random generation, but also has a progressing story. So very, very fun game that's available on everything, including Switch. Actually, it was first on Switch. It just came to PlayStation, which is what I waited for. Then after being that, I'm just sort of like going through and replaying some of the PS5 update for Ghost of Tsushima. And gosh dang, is that game gorgeous? Even more gorgeous. Especially when it comes like the sunlight and the setting sun and the moonlight, you can where it traces through the fog now very sort of eerily accurately. And then also on the anime front, I've been catching up with, let me see, going through and rewatching the series Cowboy Bebop. I forgot how good for freaking amazing that show was.
I remember the person I watched it with at the time, we had a nice big debate on the ending. But yeah, that is like one of the shows, I mean, it is worth noting when a show comes along and like aims to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Aims to be cyberpunk and cool and succeeds and does not sound try hard in the dialogue and anything like that, but instead manages to get you going through all of it.
Yeah, the one thing is, like I said, the way why I think it's so good is the structure of Cowboy Bebop reminds you it's like as sort of a HBO miniseries, where it really does feel like all part of one big like movie. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's very episodic and all that, but in terms of like pacing and all, it feels like everything has weight to it and is valued. It's like episodic, but like that's sort of critical episodic. Besides probably the mushroom episode, which I haven't reached yet. But that's what I mean. It just feels like everything has weight. Like every episode has weight to it, even if it is episodic. And that's why I say it reminds me of like an HBO miniseries where it's like all one extended movie and everything has value, sort of thing. That's what it reminds me of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unless
Okay.
maybe that parody of Alien.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I did get through that, and all that because of expired lobster.
Yeah. Oy. The ending is it's eaten by Ed and everybody dies, but they don't. But good show.
Yeah.
All we need
Waiting
is
for
a
Carlos
gear.
to come. Yeah. Waiting for him to come back because one big other final thing I wanted to bring up that I watched was Eden Zero, which I want to cross off this thoughts with him. But yeah, the newest series from Hiro Mashima.
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
It's on
What? No, what
just,
were
yeah,
you
we're
saying?
waiting for you guys to get your chance to go back and forth about that.
Yeah, just sort of because he's also seeing. Actually, he's up to date with the Japanese release, which the Netflix release only currently has the first 12 episodes of like the season. Then like their second half are still airing in Japan, which is like 22 or 23 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
But yeah. Go back to Ghibli movies for the fact that we didn't say much about my favorite.
Yeah, you said Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah, and that's one
Which
of the ones like.
Oh, do you want us to botch that too, like you did? Just kidding.
Oh, well, you can't because I'm right. No, but that's one of the one. Like I think it might just be that I fall for the same thing as like the Torturo crowd. That they're like more personal, like profundity and little things approach is what caught me. I didn't think that would be the case, but like that when Kiki's made its theme known, that whole like, yeah, you're gonna fall out of love with stuff or you're gonna have slow spots and burnout, but it's everybody has to go through that yeah, when you find something that is vibing with your soul, you'll get there again. That I mean, I can't say it as well as they did, but that clicked with me something fierce. Like actually, no BS inspired me to get up at the 11th hour and not fail college.
Yeah, the one thing I feel Kiki's Delivery Service is like the best like slice of life Ghibli movie. To me, like, because there's like different styles of Ghibli. They have slice of life ones. I feel Kiki's is the best of that, and also how like you're bringing up how it talks about dealing with depression and burnout, which is something that you sort of come to appreciate more as you get older and watch that again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I saw at least half of it when I was younger, but like when I saw it in college, that was like meeting it for the first time. Sensual.
Yeah, I will admit, like I like it a lot as well, but I do not like the ending. I don't know. It's the same thing with you guys and not liking mine, I guess.
Well,
I'm trying to strike back is not an explanation.
No. It's not like that. It's like I always had it like that because I actually watched Kiki's Delivery Service before I watched my house moving castle. So yeah.
You don't like the flying to the rescue ending?
No, I think it's like botchy. It's the same like you said. With like being like it's being a little wonky. It's being like a little like okay, this is now happening, and well, like I feel for her because like she's losing her powers and all of that. I get that, but still though, it's like okay, why do we like this? Is just all over the place.
Still sounds like you're just trying to strike back.
No. Actually.
I mean, I can understand, like, an action climax. I wouldn't agree, but I could understand the thing about the losing of the powers. If you're gonna take umbrage with that, like, that's the backbone of the movie, lady. You're gonna need to come with a legit argument for that.
Just like feel like it goes like from having like all of the powers to having like 0 to having like 20% like up and down all of the time.
Well, they explained that. It's burnout and then trying to draw back her passion when she really flippin' needs it.
I guess so.
Boy, if you just wanted me to say I'm sorry for making you feel bad about the movie you love.
No, never. You have to have your rights to your opinions, and I have the rights to mine.
I know.
You're the second opinion after all.
I'll try to be nicer to House, even though I thought I was pretty darn nice to it. I said that, I already said what my least favorite Ghibli was. House isn't even my least favorite Miyazaki. I think, it's verging on, I think it rubs elbows with top drawer Ghibli just fine.
Yeah, so does Kiki's. So it's not that. Yeah.
We apologize, audience, for dragging you into our couples fight.
Alright.
We will soon return you to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yes, I would like that very much.
But I guess Carlo's still on leave. I guess I can go into some of the news stories. I guess the first one, which is more recent one, which is sort of still playing out, is the Apple Epic lawsuit finally came to a close with Apple winning 9 out of 10 accounts and Epic winning 1. Which, depending on the news source you get, everyone says Epic won big. But they really didn't if you read the fine print.
So.
Yeah, to summarize, many news outlets are claiming a victory for Epic is, it says Apple cannot restrict an app developer from having a link going to an outside store. So if an app says have a link where you buy whatever game bucks in our website instead of on Apple's thing, it can't restrict that. Which in theory is a big strike against Apple because that's where they get their cut is from the store credits. That's why they do all the loot boxes and all that games are free and all that. It's because they make the money in microtransactions, both the company and the also platform. However, if you read the other accounts that Apple won, yes, they can't block those links going out, but Apple can still be entitled to their commission fee even if it's sold on Epic Store. So it's there's no point. It's and it's basically, if you seems to be inspired, the judge seems to make that decision inspired by how Fortnite has made a special arrangement with Sony because PlayStation for a while was a holdout becoming to cross console play between where you could play against Fortnite players could play against each other if they're on Xbox or PlayStation. Sony was a holdout for a while. We couldn't figure out why. Well, eventually Sony worked out a deal with them where if a gamer's majority of their time is spent on PlayStation, no matter where they buy their V-Bucks, PlayStation gets that cut. And I think that's what the judge is saying. Apple can essentially force Epic's you can link to your own store, but we still get our cuts. Is seems to be what's allowed, which again basically makes Epic's entire 1 point of victory pointless. Despite what a lot of the very biased media outlets have said. But I see Carlos jumped in for a second. Are you back?
I'm gonna take that as a no.
I guess it moves on to the other news story, which is PlayStation had a conference, which mostly just game updates about stuff we have. Got to see Square Enix new Forspoken game, which is their not Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy is fantasy game. And then also the biggest announcement coming out of that is basically Insomniac, which confirmed that Spider-Man 2 is coming out in 2023. And has Venom as sort of a main antagonist, or one of the main antagonists. And also by the design, it seems implied that there is a very good chance that this is going to be a co-op game between allowing people to play between Miles and Peter. They didn't say that, but like it's sold as Spider-Man 2, and like they seem to be showing off a combo between them, and it's like that's what I'm taking from it, which is a good thing, a very interesting thing. And then the other Insomniac is like, oh yeah, we're also making a Wolverine game. So things to look forward to in the future.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you see any news story about Marvel recasts Iron Man, Spider-Man, such and such, don't bother clicking on it. They're talking about how the What If series has a different voice actor. The very first time they did that, I was like, okay, you got me. The 10th time, I'm like, you people are shameless hacks.
I thought there are some serious rumors, though, that they are considering recasting Iron Man just because they sort of want that back, even though Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back.
Yeah, but if you see a news article for it in the near future, that's almost certainly the fake out you're going to get, and the article's going to act like it wasn't even a fake out. Like, what? Isn't this what you clicked on this to hear about? So, don't fall for it. Just so you know.
But yeah, that's I'm actually looking forward to it, but I'm also concerned at the same time because like I love Insomniac, and essentially Insomniac has 2 or 3 teams. Like we know they have at least 2 like AAA game teams, probably 3 or at least 2.5, or like one team can switch over. So I hope this means that like this is just like the spinoff team from Spider-Man is working on Wolverine 2, or is like co-oping that, because I still also want a new Ratchet and Clank game. The last one like was very much teasing like another one, is like, please don't make that be the only Ratchet and Clank game this generation.
Shit. The last one was the one where they made a movie out of all the cutscenes, wasn't it?
No, they just released one this year, Rift Apart.
Okay.
The previous one was a remake of the first game, which was being made into a movie. Basically, they pitched it as like it's a game based off of a movie based off of a game. Is the whole pitch.
Yeah.
Which it was good remake because it basically sprinkled some things throughout the series. It wasn't just a first of the original, even though it was slightly shorter than the original, and the story was in the game was a little disjointed just because it really much was the cutscenes you could very much see were like inspired from or taken from the game, the movie. So it's like the story feels like you sort of weren't like you get it, but like the pacing is like you can sort of tell that scenes were cut just because they're from the movie and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still a good thing for $40. And like the Rift Apart, which is a new recent one, which is sort of catching up with the series, is just a gorgeous freaking game. And it really takes advantage of like the PS5's like SSD drives, because like you can walk through portals and like you can instantly change the loadout, like the appearance of the world. And yeah, just nice fun game, and that game sort of implied the ending leaves up like it's like, oh, here's a road trip we're going to be doing next. And also introduced 2 new characters, which I really hope to see more of, which was Kit and Rivet, which is basically the gender swapped version of Ratchet and Clank.
Ooh, nice.
Do you know these characters in the first place, Day?
I know Ratchet and Clank, but I don't know the gender swap versions. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just like basically robot. Kit is the robot version of Clank, another Clank, and then Rivet is Ratchet's counterpart.
Okay.
Nice.
Last I saw
Oh, yeah.
Ratchet and Clank, they were winning a death battle.
Oh yeah, that's the death battle against Jack, which, yeah, knowing the weapons in Ratchet made absolute sense.
Shit. And they said Clank was a better sidekick than whoever Ratchet had, or whoever Jack had.
That's not really a hard debate because Clank is rather smart and useful.
Mm-hmm.
Daxter is
Dumb.
amusement.
Yeah.
And sort of occasionally useful in the same way that like Duck Dodger's way, where it's like you sort of accidentally screw over the enemy.
Yes. With the eager young space cadet does most of the work.
Yeah, but actually, I just recently played through the first Jack game recently, then Jack 2 I just finished. Wow, that is such a tonal shift in the games.
Otherwise. Well, while we're waiting, I guess I may as well spin my unabridged idea to pass some time here. Let's fight with Anime America over what we think of their ranking, shall we? Abridged here. S tier, top tier, lightweight, bad, or haven't seen. Going the order they made. Ocean Waves, haven't seen.
Haven't seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
Okay, so that's a wash. Tales from Earthsea.
I've watched. Boring.
So,
Beautiful but boring.
right. S tier, good tier, lightweight, or bad?
Bad. Sadly, I have to put
I'd
it
say
there.
bad.
Even though it's beautiful, it's still bad.
Okay,
I
Red
wouldn't
Turtle.
say it's bad. I wouldn't say it's bad for films as a whole, but it's bad for Ghibli.
Yeah,
Okay,
I will see.
fair enough. Red Turtle. I haven't seen that either.
I haven't seen it either.
I think that was more of a short than anything else.
I think it was a feature length, but it was kind of like an art house feature length. Like no dialogue or something like that.
Yeah, with the turtle. I think when I said short, I didn't mean like 5 minutes. I think it was like 20 minutes or something. It's like, it was their art house things. Like, oh yeah, we were tired. It's like, oh, we came back for this.
Shit.
Sort of thing.
Really? So we haven't fought with them much so far. How about Secret World of Arietti? Say lightweight, but like approaching good. I think it's better than they said it was. They said it was boring.
I haven't seen it.
So what was the ranking things again?
Anime America ranking all Ghibli films, and I'm going in
like,
order by their ranking.
It was a score. Like you said, like there's different.
Oh yeah, S tier, top tier, lightweight, and bad.
Yeah, I would say lightweight.
Okay.
I mean, it was a good film, but like I don't think it's up with the upper one.
Yeah, and put it over like Whisper of the Heart, for example. I thought it spun its thematics with a little more weight. Just visuals, but yeah, probably lightweight. Earwig and the Witch. They put that over quite a few, considering that it's Earwig and the Witch.
I haven't
seen it.
But from what I've heard and what I've seen of the animations, I would say bad or light.
Yeah, that seems to be the general consensus towards bad. Okay, how about Punyo? I'd actually say good tier for that one. I think that rubs elbows with movies like Totoro at its best. Like Howl's That Sorry Day. But yeah, like I have the same kind of problem with the ending there, and like I didn't think it needed to bring in the end of the world. But yeah, I would still say
true.
good tier.
That's true.
So wait, what the tier? S tier, good tier, then light, then bad. I'll say Ponyo was good. It is very much like the slice of life style of like Ghibli.
Yeah.
A little bit more fantastical than other slice of life, but it's still sort of in that and does it well.
Yes, good tier can be like good tier / top tier, just if you don't think it's quite worthy of an S. Up on Poppy Hill. Tried to see that, but we got called away after the first scene.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. It's like I can't really even give a judgment on it. I've heard good things, but I've also not heard like anyone saying it's their favorite, so I'll just have to abstain from voting on it.
Yeah, sorry, Goro. I know that's supposed to be your one success so far in the movies. I'll get back to you on that. My Neighbor the Yamadas. I don't think anybody's seen that, right? Cat Returns.
I would say good tier. I would say good or light, like upper light. It's like one of those things where it's like I wouldn't say it's like a classic, but it was a good film.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough to see that, honestly. All right, Grave of the Fireflies.
S tier.
I haven't seen it, and I have to, and I own it too. I've owned it for years, and I don't know what's gotten in the way, but c'est la vie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I choose not to see it.
So, but enough a lot there. Up is back. Are we gonna cut this off at about the halfway point?
I think we have to cut it off now and switch to watching something.
Yeah, is he back?
Yes, I'm back.
Woo!
All right. Anime America.
No, Helluva Boss.
I said sorry, Anime America, not.
Oh.
All right. Although we can go out with Castle in the Sky, because that's actually of Miyazaki's directed. That's my least favorite. I think it's still lightweight.
Yeah.
That's weird. I would say that one's weird because it's like I would say story-wise, yeah, lightweight, but like visuals and like world building and just and all that, like it's good. I would say good. That's one thing. I'm split on that because like it is like one of those things like this. The animation really does sell that movie. It is such a beautiful world and like the aesthetics and all that. Like it's
right up there with top tier Ghibli on that, except for the explosive scene that throws in a lot of orange into the color palette. Like one of my favorite. But yeah, on the whole, like Ghibli brought their A game there, like they usually do, to the animation. I don't know. I'm one of the people that doesn't say how they pull back on thematics a bit in that movie. I'm not one of the people who says that's a strength. I thought what it did have was the very sweet and likable central story between the two leads, but they dropped the ball on pacing that a couple of times. I think like how it just abruptly stops halfway through, and then like they try to get it going again with now wacky pirates as are also protagonists.
Which they had gets brought back up on Ni no Kuni.
But
moving on. I guess that said, I guess we should probably move on to the main subject of this thing, which is
Litso, make your entrance.
All right.
Yeah, which will be the react to when we're watching and reacting to Helluva Boss episode 6. So see you back on the other side. Okay, then now we can begin. So, what are your thoughts on the 6th episode of Helluva Boss? Which I still don't know how many episodes are supposed to be in this season.
Yeah.
Season 1.
Amazing.
Sure.
This was it was like the animation was better. I think like the story actually also were a little bit better for what I've seen. Like, and the music that they had in the middle of everything or in the last parts was also beautiful. I really enjoyed the fight scene with Wolf Girl. I really enjoyed like seeing our guy coming back through the human body and overtaking everything and them stripping out.
Yeah, style.
That was really stylish.
Demon Hunter, never seen a real demon before.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah. And then, and the animation on all the fighting too. Like, way to make everybody just what they should be.
Yes.
Luna, let her, she looks really cool. I bet,
mauling people.
One episode was that said that everybody's gonna fetishize her for a reason, but heck yeah, in a fight scene, let her use her teeth and get, tear them apart.
But
All of it. But
the one thing I was trying to put my finger on, like what I liked the most about like the animation style and gosh, what younger, smaller imp's name? Millie and what's the other one? Millie's husband's name.
Moxie.
Moxie. I knew it was Emma's coming. Yeah, Moxie's hallucination. The one thing I was trying was like, why is it? I feel so good about this, like this thing about style. And it was the eyes, where they added the more complete eye look to them. It's like wow, that really does change the style compared to like the yellow slits that they usually have in a demon form.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Blitzo's fantasy is more like what you might see in who's the indie artist I'm thinking of? Likes to put his face on everything in his music videos.
There's a lot of those guys.
Primus, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, you probably see what I'm getting at. Just something that is more like would be more personal to him, and yeah, and I mean, I like the show that can be a tricky balance in tone that like you have to not be like 8 Crazy Nights where you're throwing out your original tone because you like are going through the motions of now's the part where we add the happy ending. Like it's not doing that, but at the same time, like I respect that the show isn't above character progression and all that, isn't above like, okay, let's have them learn a little lesson, get like a little nicer towards each other in this part, like and is perfectly capable of still remaining what it is. Still like, this is about demons in hell who kill people for a living and like in the most black comedy of ways.
Yeah. And actually the funny thing with like them not having any guns, I don't think it would have helped even if they had. Like they're being sliced and diced and eaten and everything, so.
Yeah, no, it's just weird though. Like, I mean,
it's
not that this isn't the first show to go that route. That skilled organizations, add enough skill and they prefer, swords and ninja weapons to guns for some reason. Like
in real life, that's bull.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, Kill Bill goes that route too. Like, I mean, you have to be willing to roll with the fact that if the Crazy 88 had run in with every one of them holding an Uzi, Beatrix Kiddo probably would have had a tougher time coming out alive. It would have been a stretch. But although, heck, even in Kill Bill, you can like buy the biggest of stretches, maybe buy it because this is supposed to be like underground gangs and off the radar. Sort of gritty organizations. Like this is supposed to be some kind of ultra high tech organization, so it stands out just a little more. But I mean, it's like from the outside looking in, it is kind of like, okay, well, if they're gonna get chopped to hash anyway, you may as well have them look cool while trying to fight back.
They get to look cool with guns too.
Well, I mean, gun is kind of a one-mode attack. You pull a trigger.
But like,
and you wave it around.
I
mean, I don't know. Gun kata, I think, I don't know if that's coming back.
No, I don't know. But definitely now we know, like, now they know what to expect and now they have proof, so we will see what's going to happen. And I like that I was, like, calling out that Owl guy was going to come and save them. I've never seen this episode before, but when I saw, like, I think it was the music video's fault, because when I saw him crawling up the stairs and him being, like, the savior, I was just like, okay, that's what's going to happen, huh? So I don't know if the episode spoiled itself for itself, or it's just me, like, being good at predicting stuff.
You do have offbeat guesses sometimes.
Yes, I do. That just sticks.
Sometimes do turn out to be right.
Yeah.
Even I haven't totally mastered how you're wired.
No, that's true.
Darling dearest.
Yeah. I think like I was also one of the first ones to guess that Ruby was a gem. Remember? For yeah. For that too.
Steven Universe.
Yeah, Steven Universe.
Not sure what you're. Okay, we can come back to that. Yeah,
we can come back to that another day.
Okay, yeah, gonna give this episode credit in another way though. Like I just got done saying that Cherubs was my pick for worst episode so far.
This is the best.
Quite possibly. Well, I mean, we've had some heavy hitters along the way to be sure, but yeah, the dorks work a lot better than the Cherubs though, because it's not just like, okay, well let's see how mean we can get with jokes we've heard before, but I mean, that seems like something we would do, right? Shit on positivity, such and such. But I mean, it's like, even if they are, what would you even call the dorks? Lawful neutrals, true neutrals, like I mean,
Men in Black.
they fit a lot better in here because, like, they flow a lot better because, they did start it with the demons here, and they are like just sort of capturing them to try to get theirs, try to be try to get some acclaim or whatever, and they are the ones who throwing those sacrificing a bunch of people and still willing to keep going with this just for the reward. I mean, you don't feel that sorry for I mean, heck, how sorry do you feel for anyone in Helluva Boss? But I mean, it's like, you don't think it's out of place for them because it, like everything that they do to them is like, Millie, for example, that's probably what you do if some covert organization kidnapped and drugged your husband, and you could do that to them, and you believe that they're able to screw with them with all their demon methods. You believe that Blitz is able to get inside their head and screw with them because they really are kind of dorks, like trying to play tough, and they're that bad at keeping up, at being tough as nails, but you also buy that they're a match for them, that they do sort of they have all these ways to get back inside their heads anyway, so they're like a really good match for this group. I mean, I think this is I think other than Snake guy whose name I've already forgotten, I think these guys
Striker.
Okay. Yeah, and maybe even him. I think these guys are the antagonists to beat so far.
Yeah. Especially if they can get, now that they have proof, they can get somebody to help them with something.
I mean...
Big machine or something.
What?
But I'm sitting out, you guys.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Plus, even if you like the Cherubs, even if you are someone who's just loves that, mean-spirited sense of humor, beat on somebody who, is all chippery, have a nice day. The Cherubs, other than the fact that they could put up a fight, they weren't really as good a match. They were just playing the same note, hey, stop being so mean. Here, we're going to take him and introduce this positive thing that we're now going to stand by and wait for you to crap on. There wasn't much to them, I guess, other than their design. That as well. I don't know. Anyone want to take me up, confirm, deny? Tell me I'm somewhere between.
About the Cherubs, it's a fine descriptor for them.
Well, thank you very much. But I don't know. Has there been any fan anticipation for them to return? Because
people just really like Colin.
Who?
The sheep.
The sheep. One of the Cherubs was shaped like a sheep.
Yes. You even forgot about how they look like. That's how generic they are to you.
Yeah. I guess that's about the size of it. But yeah, I mean, I guess like that one has to be wrapped up there, but I'm definitely already more excited for the dorks.
The dorks.
Dorks. Like I said, spelled in the way that Kevin from Ed, Edd n Eddy screams it. Dorks!
Dorks!
What does that stand for? Demon Hunting Organization... something.
Of research, killing, and then services? Research, killing, and research and killing services? Is that what it is? Did we just figure it out because they never say in the actual episode?
Full name unknown. So, okay, they are just leaving us to guess. So, okay, what do we got? Yeah. Demon Hunting Organization, something killing services, repelling. Yeah. Attention. Yeah. Not great at it, but they did, leave them with a surprising amount of evidence that, can't be exposed, so that could turn into a problem.
Yeah.
Although...
I wonder how long will it be until they finally get enough money or something else in order for them to get disguises, or we're going to see like such a political nightmare right now.
That's the one thing I really want to look forward to is like eventually I feel they will get human disguises, so I can't wait to see what they are.
Shit. I mean, I guess, yeah.
I think that's more of a season 2 thing.
Yeah.
Well, our favorite wolf girl does kind of sort of already have one, so the others just need to follow suit.
Yeah, that's really the thing.
Really? Yeah. I thought Stolas, too. He always, it's a recurring thing from him that he's only scary when he wants to be, which is, more when he's had enough of your BS than when he, has... Yeah. I don't know. That's not his preferred mode of presentation, almost.
Yeah, I mean, especially with that whole first appearance of him in the real world, almost made you think is that some sort of primal being version of him?
Yeah, his true self or some such. And then it shifts into actual him, which is stylish but still so comparatively non-threatening.
Yeah.
But and what his whole episode 2, he spends the whole episode oh, Blitzy, I need my bodyguard, and meanwhile it turns out that he could have taken care of every single one of those guys the whole time. All he has to do is look at them and they turn to stone. He was just getting off on the thought of Blitz rescuing him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what else we got?
But I guess any other closing thoughts on this episode? Just being general amazing and.
I was just wondering if you guys got any sort of hints about possible attractions there might be for maybe not to certain extremes, but between Moxie and Blitz.
Nah, I don't see. I think it's more relationship drama sort of thing, like actual friends, and because they are very, very clearly pushing the Blitz in.
Stolas, I know.
Stolas being an actual couple-ish. And Millie and Moxie just being a gold standard for couples.
Yeah, gold standard for couples in general, yeah.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I believe that, what Blitz the Boss could, maybe pressure Moxie that way if he shows, but he really does, does not seem like that's where he's headed. At least not so far as I've seen. He seems like
I was not saying that like as like end game stuff. No, I just meant that in the moment.
Mm, yeah.
I just meant that in the moment because we all clearly see the end game. It's like we see like the flaws and such for that end game, but seems to be progressing a bit now, despite those problems that were clearly shown in the subconscious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We don't see Blitz, open up his emotions. And heck, he probably spends more time having a problem with Moxie than anyone else, just because, Moxie is tentatively the most limited as a demon hunter. So yeah, seeing them, pal around, getting the best of our two main dorks, and then open up to each other, like it almost feels intimate. Just if nothing else, just because it's more personal than we, pretty much ever see them get.
Mm-hmm.
More real talk from the heart emotions, I guess.
So, yeah, I guess aside from that, what do you think about like I think the last thing I really wanted to make mention of is sort of like the over dependence on Millie for Moxie, and how that's sort of like being outlined here in this episode.
Really? Yeah. I mean, well, believe me, when you're married, boy, especially they seem like a relatively young couple.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Tends to be where your mind goes a lot.
I think it's not really as bad as it said, just because like they're both were the same level of codependency. Like what, as we've seen, Millie was freaking out to like, okay, let's go back immediately and all that, and a lot of that was just from Blitzo, just like as they showed with his hallucination. Just he intentionally tries to like cut like relationships to basically break them before they can break off with him. So he just like he basically like Millie and Moxie's relationship basically it goes against that, so he's always like basically taking shots at it. And this is another example of that.
Yeah. And I mean, like physically in battle and stuff, Moxie is like probably needs Millie more than the other way around. But I mean that just kind of is what it is. Like Moxie's on the team because he is the sharpshooter. So as a one trick pony, I guess that's fine. But I mean, like, I don't know, just the fact that he's probably the least effective in a fight is what it is. And heck, we've seen plenty of romances in these things where it's the other way around with these hetero couples. The dude's the one who gets to do more, so like, why not? Like, instead of just making everyone the exact same effectiveness, for example. But although then, I mean, they also are playing Moxie as someone as like the closest to needy emotionally, or I mean, he's the most sensitive of the bunch. So I guess if they wanted to go the route that he gets a little needy, a little dependent, they could. But I mean, I don't think they've pitched themselves towards that yet, anyway. There are a lot of ways you could go with a guy who's just, who's the temperature of his sensitivity is not quite in sync with the rest of the group.
Gotcha.
It's my take, anyway. On that note, in fact, does it seem like their, as long-term character arcs go, does it seem like they might be heading towards one for Blitzo? Because, they for a character who's kind of been the tone setter of, Shameless and loving it, as this show goes, they, like, dug into the notion that, okay, he's got a lot he needs to grow out of here, that, yeah, he has a little bit of a problem, and it's, like, one that he's going to be in conflict with.
I think that was a big theme of this one, was him just basically accepting actually having a family, air quote, again. People in a circle, both romantically with Blitzo and also just interpersonal relationships with, like, Moxie Millie and his... Well, I actually never really had issues with his daughter's side on his side, at least.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, this is like... That this is an ongoing thing with him, and yeah, they seem like they're heading in a Guardians of the Galaxy-ish sort of direction here, like, yeah, makeshift but ultimately positive step family, but yeah, like that, like, this is the first episode that said, like, okay, no, he has a recurring problem here to battle, so, like, hey, it's like the first hint I've got, like, with him specifically, that they are thinking about maybe laying some groundwork.
Yeah, but speaking of, I mentioned, was rewatching Cowboy Bebop. Actually, this is sort of covered in some of the recent episodes. Like, this is like the first time that, well, the first time that Faye left again, and her basically dealing with, like, she sort of left just because she doesn't want to get close to anyone again and all that, and he's sort of upset about it. He's like, oh, that's another thing, and the whole Cowboy Bebop thing is basically about having a irregular family come out of just its own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another makeshift family kind of show. That's if you're able to do it right, that's a premise that can have some legs to it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I guess any other closing thoughts before we head off for tonight?
No, the closing thoughts.
Guess I can't wait for the next episode, hopefully before the end of the year.
Yeah, you got us real hyped now.
Yes. We still got 2 more episodes of this first season to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Also, all right, so it is an 8-episode season.
Yeah.
All right, because I wasn't sure like how they had it, but yeah, I guess see y'all next time next time hopefully for the MLP G5. Hopefully we'd like it or at least enjoy it. See y'all.